The story of Robert House and Frederick Sinclair is an interesting tale of two individuals, though it could also be considered one of two worlds or two cities. What would one do if your way of life was doomed to end? That is the question to which both Robert House and Frederick Sinclair, two wealthy industrialists in the pre-war world of Fallout, had different answers to this same question. For Robert House, he saw the situation in the world leading up to the bombs more than a decade prior to the world being washed in atomic fire on October 23, 2077. Robert House saw the dwindling resources. Robert House also saw what was his prized possession, his prized racehorse, or his most valued article of jewelry, as being threatened. House owned that prized gem and vowed to never let another have it. That prized gem was the city of Las Vegas, which would ultimately become known as New Vegas after the bombs. The preoccupation of Robert House with his most prized possession was so great, he kept himself unnaturally alive in a preservation chamber, his mind connected to powerful supercomputers. He lived on to an age of at least 261 years, although his fate is ultimately dependent on the actions of the player, or the courier, in Fallout New Vegas. He sought to maintain his prized gem as a form of free market utopia, wherein tradesmen and other casinos besides his own casino, the Lucky 38, could operate in relative autonomy, so long as they did not enter conflict with one another. He had his special fighting robots, known as Securitrons, patrolling the city of New Vegas. But Robert House's greatest shortcoming came in the form of the Platinum Chip. The Platinum Chip contained the data to enable a software update to Robert House's Securitrons and computer systems in New Vegas, which would make the plans for future technological advancement, including space colonization, an eventual reality were House not impeded. But alas, the Atomic Holocaust occurred 20 hours sooner than House could have the Platinum Poker Chip completed and delivered, and so House was left, trapped within his casino, trying to have his Platinum Chip retrieved for another 204 years, until the courier and his decisions determined the outcome of his plan for New Vegas and the greater wasteland. Robert House, however, had a price to his unnatural life. He now lived permanently in a pod, never to see the sun rise or set, as the simple air any normal human breathes will kill House, as he no longer has any immune system left. House lives inside a tomb, as nothing but an observer. Frederick Sinclair, the sponsor of the experiments at the Big MT or Big Mountain Research Complex, suffered from a different type of flaw. He was in denial. Sinclair was in denial that the famous and beautiful actress known as Vera Keyes actually shared a romantic interest in him, which she in actuality did not. Sinclair was also in denial that the nuclear holocaust of 2077 would occur, and thus he built the Sierra Madre Casino in the Grand Canyon. Sinclair also was not in acknowledgement of his looming bankruptcy, to make a beautiful resort full of majestic scenery in which various wealthy clients could visit, gamble, and enjoy great drinks and food, along with other amenities to hide from the state of the outside world. Regardless of all that Sinclair offered to his clients, there was no escape from the fire that would rain from the sky. On that fateful day, when the Chinese and the Americans delivered their packages of death to one another, the Sierra Madre was preparing its grand opening. The nuclear explosions and their effects stopped the casino in its operations. Frederick Sinclair was among those who died within the Sierra Madre. The systems of the casino unfortunately did not stop, producing holograms from the dying security and guests at the casino. The toxic red clouds were released and dispersed throughout the casino once the air ventilation systems ceased functioning. The Sierra Madre Casino became a tomb, and thus we see a tale of two men. One man acted out of the utmost precaution to protect his most prized possession and his vision of a utopia. Another died in denial of his own impending doom and in denial of the reality around him. Another became little more than a glorified corpse who no longer can live in the world around him, like vampires or other mythical monsters. In the end, the war was a harsh time, a time of chaos, and the differences in how people responded to the looming death of the old world is well illustrated by the story of the two men of Robert House and Frederick Sinclair. The following is a video of Adrian Tepes. If you wish to remain up to date with new videos, subscribe to the channel and click the bell for notifications.